Mr. Takano, you're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. For Mr. Griffin or Mr. Matkowski, in your investigations and audits, did you identify any sort of pattern when looking at wait times and scheduling practices? And what I mean by this is, are there some types of facilities better or worse than others? Are wait times longer for certain types of care? Primary care versus certain specialty care, for instance?
I would say one of the principal methodologies that we have witnessed is a veteran calling in for an appointment. He gets an appointment 120 days out because that's the first available appointment at that facility. And then that appointment gets scored as the desired date of the veteran, and therefore 0 waiting days. The vast majority of the cases that we have seen involve that scenario. The other scenario would be you get that appointment 120 days out. 2 weeks before the appointment, it gets canceled in the system, and then it gets recreated. Veterans no wiser for the fact that his appointment was canceled because it's recreated for the same time and date, but once again, it reflects a waiting time which does not reflect the reality of the amount of time that veteran's been waiting for care.
Those are similar to what we found as well. I would say in terms of the wait time data for new veterans, we tend to be able to trust that data better because it has a computer date stamp in it. It's not perfect, but it's better. We do find specialty care has longer waits among those veterans. And then we also note wait times in primary care.
Thank you. That was a very clear illustration of some of the pattern. Can you tell me, so in Phoenix, there is both wait times of this nature for both primary and specialty care? I mean, I saw that the primary care numbers were...
We did see a significant count for primary care. There are a number of veterans on the electronic wait list waiting for primary care appointments. What will typically happen is that you will then see a subsequent demand for specialty care. So as we're bringing in resources for primary care, we're also very cognizant of the fact that we're going to require to address specialty care in Phoenix, sir.
Well, I don't want, in my question, I don't want to excuse at all the manipulation of wait times. So that's not the point of my questioning. But I want to ask you if, from your data and your audits, are able to comment on whether there's an underlying shortage of providers. You mentioned a scarcity of appointment slots. How much is that attributable to a shortage of providers? And how much is that attributable to maybe inefficiencies in the way the facilities operate?
I think we have to check them both. I think that in some cases we have provider shortages, but I think frankly we owe it to American taxpayers to run an efficient system as well. So we have to look at productivity data, and we have to look at the amount of time in clinic serving veterans. But I think it's both.
Mr. Griffin?
If I may, I think an integrated health system is the best system for veterans who have multiple conditions that they need care for. The further you dilute the locations where that care is provided, the greater chance of the care not getting properly reflected back in the medical record, the greater chance that that particular provider for that one instance of fee care may or may not be fully aware of all the other conditions that that veteran is facing. So I think what it's about is the business process of return on investment for getting your own doctors who are committed to the VA mission, who are full-time employees at VA, as opposed to the $4.8 billion in FY13 that was spent for fee care. I think there just has to be a strategic analysis of what in the long run is going to be the best outcome for veterans. And it's something that has to be continual because you'll have different mix of conditions from one facility to the next.
Along those lines of the integrated care question, is there a pattern in your research to the quality of care related to whether or not a VA facility is affiliated with a university hospital?
Oh, I don't think so. I mean, I think our affiliate hospitals tend to be the more complex hospitals, and will have a more complex set of services available to veterans. But we have some of our highly rural, unaffiliated hospitals that also wind up being top performers in the healthcare industry rankings.
All right, thank you. My time is up.
Thank you very much, Mr. Takano.